Welcome. My name is Lynn Ann Galloway, and I have had fibromyalgia, and I have found a few ways to manage it naturally. Now, today we're going to talk about understanding chemicals and the connection between chemicals and fibromyalgia. So, what is the difference? Why does that make a difference? Well, there are chemicals in our body that have been noted to make a difference in fibromyalgia. One is serotonin, and it seems there's not a lot of research around exactly what causes fibromyalgia, but as you know, it's overall pain, no energy, fatigue, and no causes at this point. But some of the things we do know is that people with fibromyalgia tend to have a lower serotonin, which is a normal chemical in our bodies, in our brains, actually. And the other thing is that they have a substance P seems to be affected, and what that is the neuropeptide that helps us with the perception of pain, and it seems to be that it's more active in people with fibromyalgia, and it also has effect on a lot of other systems in our body. Now, there are other chemicals, and that's what I want to really talk about, that do affect how we feel. And I don't know if you've noticed that or not. And if you have, just let me know. I'd love to know if you have noticed that. There's a bit of research that shows that some of the harmful cleaning chemicals can affect fibromyalgia symptoms in individuals and can actually trigger or make the symptoms worse. Also, there are, of course, medications that do it as well as chemicals that are found in some of the foods and beverages. And it can make a difference on how we feel. So being aware of that, and I think probably the most of it is that it affects our response to stress, and I personally feel like our system is overloaded when we have some of these chemicals or use a lot of them. And in my experience, it certainly made a difference to me to take them out of my house, take them out of my use. And I find that even if I'm in a store now and walk down that aisle, I have an instant headache. So I know those things are affecting me. So, and not only does it can cause headaches, a lot of them will cause irritation to the respiratory system. So if you have other things going on, and some of them certainly affect our hormone system or endocrine system. And again, I think there's no studies that show that, but it seems like when people go through, especially women go through hormone changes, that seems to be when their symptoms for fibromyalgia seem to be worse. So I would think that that connection is there, that if you're using chemicals that affect your endocrine system or your hormone system, it is going to make a difference to how you feel. So there's studies that show that cleaning products, that there's phthalates and BPA in them, which increases, there's some studies to show that increases the risk of developing fibromyalgia. And of course, some of these chemicals make an effect on the pain in our body, and can increase the inflammation. And as well, some of them actually cause nervous system damage, which can, of course, lead to chronic pain. So some of the chemicals. So what are these chemicals? Well, they're like solvents, pesticides, your heavy metals, certain pharmaceuticals have been linked both in humans and in animals. Exposure to lead or a heavy metal, it certainly increases pain levels. And for myself, actually, I was really high in mercury, and I did a detox around mercury to get that heavy metal out. And there are certainly other types of heavy metals that can contribute to pain. And I definitely noticed that I felt a lot better afterwards. But whether it was specifically that or just a detox, or I did a whole journey of getting rid of a lot of those kind of things out of my body and out of my house. And, I kind of felt like there was no point in cleaning up my body if I wasn't going to clean up what's going into my body or touching my body or what I'm inhaling. So I basically did a big clean all the way around. There is also benzene and toluene are another chemical that's in a lot of cleaning products that can be a problem. So basically pesticides. They definitely have been linked to causing increased risk of developing fibromyalgia and not just fibromyalgia, but other chronic pain conditions as well. What they do is they cause damage to the nervous system. So what can you do about that? Well, if possible, not to use pesticides if you're in the area of farming or gardening, or in your house spraying for pests. Instead, use more natural stuff, buying food or eating organic food, because some of that stuff, it will be on the food if you're not, and it's really hard to clean it off so that it doesn't affect you. So eating organic is one way of doing that. I talked about heavy metals before, so lead, mercury, cadmium are all associated with chronic pain conditions. And what happens with heavy metal is your body isn't able to get it out without specially detox. So what happens is it accumulates in your body over time and causing damage to not just your nervous system, but it also causes damage to some of your other organs as well. And which of course, then your body doesn't work properly. So you have the pain and the inflammation. The phthalates is a group of products that are in plastics, cosmetics, a lot of personal care products have them in it. And again, this one disrupts the hormone levels in your body, which of course causes inflammation and just throws your whole system out. Is the simplest way to say it. And of course, the BPA is in the plastics. So like food linings, the thermal paper receipts, and that has been linked to a risk of developing fibromyalgia. So what can you do? Using natural cleaning products is probably one of the first things I do. I did do the mercury detox, as I did went and had some testing done for that and knew that was an issue. I have I had a lot of fillings in my teeth from a child, and I had most of them removed. There was a couple I didn't, just because I will lose a whole tooth. So I still have a couple in there, but I did do a detox with that. And I did make sure that some of no lead, those kind of things. And interesting, there's a lot of cosmetics that have lead in them, and cosmetic industry doesn't have to tell you what's in their products. That's because it's considered to be proprietary, so they don't have to say that. So unfortunately, there are a lot that have lead in them. And if you live out in the country, there are rules around plumbing that will have lead in it, and the water, and just making sure you flush that. So back to cleaning products. So one of the things I did is a lot of cleaning products have those chemicals in it that we have. So I switched to a products it's actually called Thieves, and it's Thieves Cleaner, and it's a clean product, and it is a very, very concentrated. So you just need, like, I would put a capful in a bottle of this is actually just for cleaning regularly. If you half a capful for doing mirrors or glass, that kind of stuff. I at one point did my own mixing. So this is just basically baking soda with some Thieves Cleaner in it, and hand soap. Some is getting rid of the things that are going to cause that you put on your hands or you're going to inhale. Eating good, healthy, fresh, organic produce, avoiding foods that have additives, MSG, aspartame. Some of those natural or artificial sweeteners are bad chemicals. For me, aspartame triggers an immediate headache. Fragrance-free products also. So what about fragrance? The thing about fragrance is when a company they have a fragrant in it, it actually read hidden chemical because it's considered to be proprietary. They don't have to tell you, and a lot of times they have a lot of toxic chemicals that are in to make that smell or that fragrance that they're trying to do. So again, it often those fragrances are linked to cancer, as well as our hormone disruptions like the endocrine system, the reproductive system. So, and long-term kidney and liver damage. So be very careful. And certainly if you have anybody in your household that has asthma, you want to be careful with any stuff that says fragrance. Now, the interesting thing that I found out not that long ago was that sometimes things that say fragrant free, what they've actually done is used a chemical to take the fragrance out. So again, you need to be really careful and know who your products are coming from. The other thing you can do is use a air purifier to help reduce some of the indoor pollutants. Excuse me. So those are some of the things that have helped me. And just a reminder that if you're cleaning out what you're putting in your body, you also want to make sure you want to clean out what's in your environment as much as you can. I mean, you can't do everything, but certainly as what you can, and see if it makes you feel better. And thank you for watching, and like and subscribe would be great. And if my link for my safe cleaning products that I use is in the description below. Have an awesome day.